Sports coverage of the NFL finds us at Bank of America Stadium in uptown Charlotte. Tonight we continue with Wild Card Weekend with what should be a great one between the Green Bay Packers and the Carolina Panthers. Winner go home is the mantra, and off we go. We're underway in this NFC wildcard game. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Love going to throw right away. And his first pass is incomplete.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Love. Open man left side, it's the tight end Tunyon. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. It's a gain of 12, and the Packers have the first.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. With the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. A big hitter there, a first down gain of 26 yards. Thought they were going to have him down a lot earlier, but he was able to shed that tackle.
Shows the value of the weight room, doesn't it? Shows the value of the attitude when you run the football. Don't go down easily. Break a few tackles, gain some additional yardage.
First down, Love to pass. Caught on the right side by Jones. And he gets it down a yard or two shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds. He'll go down as a gain of 6, and it's 2nd down.
I like it, I like it, I like it. Get everyone involved in the passing game, and you know you can create those great mismatches throwing it to your guys out of the backfield.
And on the first drive, that can also help establish some rhythm, right?
I think so, and gets everyone involved. They feel like they're part of it, and really gets them amped up as they go forward.
On 2nd down, it's Jones.
But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column. It looks like, yes, it is 6 defensive backs on the field for Carolina.
They're going with a dime set. To pass, here's Jordan Love. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down.
No surprise at all. They're looking for the big man early in this one. The only surprise for them, he couldn't hang on to the pass.
Let's go.
On 4th down, Love. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with the football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. The Packers unable to pick up the first. And this defense holds firm here on the opening drive of the night. 1st and 10 for the Panthers as Corral gets him set at the 34. Counter play. Here's Chandler. And he'll run fumble for about 5, up close to the 40.
Good running right there. And this is a man who was a 1,000-yard rusher in the regular season, so you know he's going to get his chances, and he picks up nice yardage on that one.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Here's Chandler on 2nd down. And there is nowhere for him to cut back as he's taken down in the backfield. A loss on that play, and now 3rd down gets tougher, 3rd and 6.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. It looks like the Packers have added an extra DB on 3rd down. On 3rd down, Corral. He finds his man, complete. It's Chandler. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. It's a Carolina 1st down on a gain of 16.
So a great throw right there, and what a regular season this rookie had, piloting this offense, guiding them to a division title, and they get the home date here, round 1 of the playoffs. But Charles, how do you think they're playing here? Will they run the same kind of wide-open offense they've run all season, or do you think that they'll try and take some pressure off of the young fella?
Oh, I think they're going high, wide, and handsome in this one. I think it's all out, just as they've been doing all year long, because I think if you try and pull it back now a little bit, you're telling that young man you don't have quite as much confidence in him as you've professed. So go ahead and continue to run your offense. Do the things that got you here. As so many defensive coaches have told you and me, all gas, no brakes. Let it rip. This could be the start of a nice stand from this defense now after getting walked backwards on this drive. Come through with another one here, and you have them staring at a 3rd and long, and that puts the defense in a position to dictate to the offense.
To throw again on 2nd down. Corral. He's got the connection to Moore. Touchdown, Carolina. DJ Moore, 43 yards. I'll let you do the analysis, partner, but with every touchdown pass his young quarterback throws and with the success that his team has had, I just continue to be more and more impressed.
Let's both do the analysis. Impressed. Aren't we both?
Yeah.
I mean, and why shouldn't we be? We've seen him improve throughout the year. We've seen him settle in now, and you can see the confidence of the team has grown. His confidence has grown. I think that everyone around this guy feels good about what they've seen, and it's also safe for him when he's driving home to turn on Sports Talk Radio. He's okay.
And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. They've got some stuff to build on from that last drive because they moved the football, CD, and then they tried to go for it on 4th down, didn't convert, probably left a bitter taste in their mouths.
I would say so, and I think that they go out in this series determined for that not to happen again. In fact, they don't even want to get to a 4th down opportunity. They just want to make sure they get it done within the parameters that they've set for themselves. Run their offense, get it into the end zone. Yeah, I think a little bit of determination and a dash of anger.
1st down, going to the air with Love. He has it complete to Christian Watson. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
Very nicely done there on the reception, and what an impact this rookie made on this offense, Charles, in the regular season.
Yeah, he's a big part of why they are where they are. He stepped into an important role, embraced it, and in a lot of ways expanded it, and immediately made a connection with his quarterback.
Pass caught. It's Romeo Doubs. His first catch of this wild card game, and it's good for a 1st down. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on 1st quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
No gain on the play, and it'll be second down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Looking for Jones, and it's intercepted.
Picked off by Amari Barno. And the Panthers are going to take possession of the football.
But when I looked down, he was kind of shaking his head right after he threw that pass. What did you see?
Well, from a defense's perspective, anytime you have your eyes back towards the quarterback, you're in a position to make a play on the ball, whether it's a big-time play by you or an overthrow by the quarterback. You have a much better opportunity.
Moore, the man in motion.
Here's Corral on first down.
Catch here, left side, Thomas. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. 22 yards on the catch and run, a first down.
But it's almost as if they didn't leave the field after their first drive. They picked right up where they left off. Another good throw there. And this offense, humming here in the early going.
Now a handoff to Chandler.
And he is going to wind up losing yardage here, as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. So the first down run lost a couple. Now they come up 2nd and 12.
On second down, here's Corral.
And he's going to go down. They sack him back right around the 30.
Jermaine Johnson credited with that sack.
We said it before the game, and I think it's still apparent. If these guys are going to advance in these playoffs, they're going to have to wreak some havoc coming off the edge.
Yeah, wild card round. They told us the wild card could be that defensive pressure. They showed it there.
Now after the sack, you got Corral and the Panthers here staring at a tough play, 3rd and long.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing 4th down.
And his kick is good. Not by much. It was leaking oil in the end, but he tucks it in the bottom right corner. And that will extend their lead even further.
So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal. And
anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach turned his defense. The firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway.
As the offense comes out here, Charles, maybe perhaps a bit more of a focus on the run game for this drive after tossing an interception on the previous one?
I think that's a good way to look at it and a good way to think about it, but maybe they get to it in a little bit different way because after you throw an interception, you want to make sure you keep your quarterback's confidence high. So maybe you give him a couple easy throws that he can complete and then get to the running game and try and get things settled down.
And still in the first half here, a long way to go.
Here we go. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Again, it's Jones. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through. But that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
On 3rd down, Love. Nowhere to go here. He lost lost the football, and it's picked up by the Panthers. And he takes it into the end zone. It's a fumble recovery and a touchdown for the Panthers. So the big fella gets on the scoreboard with a return for a touchdown. Good thing he didn't have to go too far, though.
You know the trainers were very happy about that. Imagine having to go get him in the end zone, escort him to the bench, and give him the oxygen. They were loving the fact that he got in without having to run very far.
Piñeiro's extra point up and good. And that makes our score 17-0. And you can bet they're preaching two hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. Fields it right around the goal line. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. They trail early on the road in the playoffs. Not a great combination as they've got it 1st and 10. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Love now. Got Dobbs over the middle.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
From the 37, they work on 2nd and 6. Love going to give this one to Jones. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. 70 yards rushing for him in this first half as he has certainly carried over his regular season success into the playoffs. Solid running there. And CD, we hear so much about what it takes to win in the playoffs. Most people like to include having a strong running game in their assessment. And with this man in the backfield, this group has a strong running game without a doubt.
Oh, I absolutely agree with you there because in terms of yardage, he's a top 5 running back in the league. And in terms of impact on a game, not many better than him. And when they're flowing and he's carrying the ball consistently, they're tough to beat. And good yardage there on 1st down because sometimes all you need to do on the screen is get one key block. That might set your man free, and that was pretty good pursuit to the football defensively, or it could have gone for more. To throw again on 2nd down. Love. He'll find Jones again, complete. And he gets it down a yard or two shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds. Give him 10 there, good enough for a Packer 1st down. Now that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This first half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game. Now a 1st down carry by Jones. And he edges forward, but only gets a pair of yards out of it, and it's 2nd down. You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain. 2nd down, another shot for Jones. Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and about 5. Well, it wasn't much of a gain, but we're getting near the 2-minute warning, so maybe they just want to get to that point, regroup, and decide what they want to do the rest of the half. 2 minutes to play here in this first half of the NFL playoffs. And on 3rd and 5, this will be the 8th play of the drive. Here's Love. Quick slant, caught by Moore. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. Now Jones. And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down. Give him 3 on the gain there. 2nd and goal. Now the Panthers going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play.
On the set.
Love looking to throw it. All in all, no gain on the play, and it'll bring up third.
Like it's been this negative ways he just got back to the line of scrimmage, but when you really analyze it, he took away a big play for the defense, made it an uneventful run because he avoided a sack and didn't lose yardage.
Love, this is 3rd and goal. Flush to his right. And he's going to go down just outside of the 5, right around the 6-yard line.
Working free to drop it for the sack there was Amari Barno.
I know nowadays they give a lot of guys different things when they get to the sidelines after creating a big play, but just throw a cape on this guy because he single-handedly ended multiple drives. Interception earlier, sack on 3rd down. Really? Should have a better game plan installed for how to contain him because he's affecting this game in so many ways.
Love to throw for it on 4th. Touchdown, Packers!
Robert Tonyan
from 6 yards away.
And Jonathan Garibay out for the PAT.
And it's 17-7.
Next to score, Panthers 17, Packers 7. Jonathan Garibay will kick off.
Garibay back out there now to send this one away.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. This Carolina offense at the line, ready to go.
And with a 2-score lead already, they may just look to get this thing to the locker room.
And the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Corral escaping the pressure right. And this is thrown to the sideline. No receiver in the area, though, and that's going to bring out a flag.
Yeah, he hadn't gotten far enough away from the pocket to throw that football away, and that draws the flag.
Yeah, the old tackle box, right? Get outside of each tackle, and then you can go ahead and throw it away, and you're in good shape. But if you're back there in the pocket, you got to make sure of what you're doing.
So now it's 3rd and long, because remember, they also lose a down on the grounding call.
Now Chandler.
And he's got room. And now off to the races down the right side. Touchdown, Carolina.
Ty Chandler
In the final seconds of the first half.
You talk about rookies having big statistical years. He had a boatload of these in the regular season, more than one per game, and now he has his first here in the playoffs.
And it shows off his big playability, too, because we saw this quite a bit in college, and it certainly continued here at the next level. Another explosive play for a guy who's made them all season long.
So just 8 ticks remaining here in the first half as they'll kick this one away. Fielded just outside the goal line. And he returns this to the 22.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway.
And with 5 seconds to go, this will likely be our final play.
They'll indeed start on the ground to run that clock. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. So we come upon halftime here in this NFC wildcard matchup as we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman and our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach! Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. One of these two teams about to play their final half of the season as we're back at it in this NFC wildcard bout. From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And they're in the position they expected to be in. They got the lead, home crowd behind them, and they're looking toward making that next step in these playoffs.
But I think a key for them is to put together some good, long, extended drives. Work the run in a little more with that big offensive line. I'm not saying get away from throwing the football. That's still working. But if they run it more effectively, they may get even bigger plays in the passing game.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Here's Chandler. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. On the tackle that time, Dean Lowry. He's having a big game running the football, but that one will hurt the yards per carry a little bit.
Yeah, but the average he's got so far, that's the type of average he wants to take with him to contract negotiations, doesn't he?
They run it with Chandler. And some space here. Touchdown, Carolina. Ty Chandler with his second touchdown of the night. And the Panthers continue to show why it pays to play at home in the postseason as they add on to their lead. Piñeiro's extra point up and good. And the lead is now 24. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And their halftime hole now even deeper. They need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. Out of the shotgun, it's Jones. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
On 2nd and 9, Love. Quick slant to Watson. And they're going to get this up to midfield. And inside give to Jones. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down. On 2nd and 7, Love. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Just what they need, a lecture from me, but subpar offense is what helped get them into this spot. And now they're continuing the trend with incompletions. That won't get them out of it if they don't change something soon.
Here's play number 7 on the drive. This is 3rd and 7. Now Love. This one swung out here to Jones. And the tackle going to be made at the 38. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Love. And this one too low.
I'm sure it was a tough halftime trying to figure out some strategy to get things going. Trailing by a lot when they went into the locker room. He's just trying every avenue to spark his team here to begin the 3rd quarter. Not a lot going on that play, though.
Up the middle, Jones. And he'll follow his blockers there all the way down to the 23-yard line. After the run by Jones, here's 1st and 10. Out of the shotgun, it's Love. Trying to fit it into Moore, but it's intercepted. And Xavier Woods with a pick. Well, still down quite a bit here, several scores, but yeah, at least that's a start, Charles, getting the interception here. And look, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so this thing not done yet.
You're right about that, Brandon. This defense, they haven't quit on this game. They stayed with it and got an interception and handed the ball back to their offense. And what you wonder about is the team that just threw that interception, they've got to be careful about developing a sense of complacency and thinking this game is over.
They'll rumble for about 6 up across the 20 to the 22.
A nice run right there, and we talk this time of year about certain teams, certain players who don't have a lot of postseason history to speak of. And here's a man right here in his rookie season in the NFL, and he's being asked to carry the load at running back for this offense.
And he has acquitted himself nicely here in his rookie year. And look, I think we both believe that the burden's a little lighter on backs and receivers than it is on quarterbacks in the playoffs. But that's not to say this is going to be easy. As fast as the NFL game is in the regular season, it's like warp speed when you turn pressure up in the postseason. So let's see how he handles things early.
It's a gain of 4 there and gives him a new set of downs.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
And for one of the first times all night, he is going to go nowhere as they bury him behind the line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. The defense was ready for the run-pass option, diagnosed it perfectly.
Not only did they stack him up at the point of attack, but he was met by a host of light-colored jerseys.
So a little tardy getting everyone set, and the clock hits 0 before they could snap it.
Yeah, you can take your time and use the clock and try and get set up, but once it gets near 5 seconds, that's when you often hear a quarterback yelling, hurry, hurry, to make sure everybody's ready to get the snap off.
On 2nd down now, it's Chandler. Just a 1-yard loss that time, but that's not what they needed. Now they're dealing with a 3rd and long. 1 quarter remains in this NFC Wild Card matchup. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've been good. 3 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 19. 3rd and long, Corral. Taking a shot here for Marshall. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. It's a room to maneuver. And the Packers are going to take possession of the football. So a nice play defensively by the rookie coming up with the INT.
And that's a late-round pick right there, making a first-round impact. And a lot of these day 3 corners, they end up winding up on special teams and sub-packages and even on the practice squad. But he's really made an impact on this defense, and he comes up with the interception there.
So it goes as a completed pass, but they lose a full 5 yards.
When you lose that kind of yardage on a pass play, you often expect it to be a sack. But that wasn't the case there. They completed the pass. Probably would have been better off just dropping the football and making an incompletion as opposed to catching it and losing that kind of yardage.
And he'll be brought down just shy of the 40.
Even against double coverage, he found enough of an opening for a noticeable gain. 2 guys on him, yet he finds a way to uncover downfield for the completion.
3rd and 2, Love with it. The Panther rush too strong. They get there and take him down.
That time, multiple defenders getting pressure, and it's a loss of 6.
Oh, you can just see it in their body language. They're starting to see victory on the horizon now, and if it comes to fruition, they got to give a game ball to the front 7. defensive line has taken charge and controlled this game. Face a challenge of stopping this opposing offense, and they've done so with ease.
He's going to launch this deep for Watson.
And for a third time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off by David Long. And the Panthers are going to get the ball back on the turnover as they hold on fourth down. Not the best of plays there as a quarterback. You're right-handed, rolling left, trying to throw it that far downfield.
I remember a coach of mine saying, son, that's the equivalent of trying to get the car keys out of your pocket with your opposite hand while you're trying to run. You just can't do it.
And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's second down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be third down. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
195 yards rushing for him now as he has been a central figure in trying to get his guys to the second round.
First down, Chandler. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up second and 11. Finally, defensively, they have a little clip to show positive for actually stopping him running the football.
It's been a really long night for them, hasn't it? So they got a little bit of a win there, but let's face it, the vision that he's had running the football has carried his feet to the open spaces and to big yardage all night long.
His carries tonight, they're getting up there, so maybe one of those every now and then is understandable.
I would agree with that. Understandable every now and then. Sometimes you come back and you fake it to him and go play action, but other times you say, okay, they got him on that one. We'll come back to him in another carry.
And the throw there going to be incomplete.
The fourth quarter with a 3-score lead here, Charles, but they're still going back to the air and looking for more points.
Well, with this game well in hand, it's an opportunity for the guys to come off the bench and get a chance to play. And a lot of coaches, they want to run their full playbook no matter who's on the field.
This is taken around the 12. And he gets up near the 25 to about the 24 before going out of bounds.
A nice return that time, gets 12 yards back.
And it'll be Packer football here. First down and 10.
Here we go.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway.
Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
On first and 10, Love. Pressure comes in. He's brought down. It's a Panther sack. Yetur Gross-Matos. Give him the credit for the sack and a loss of 14 yards. Throwing on second and long. Love. Forced out to his left. Nothing open downfield, so he'll throw it away.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Throwing. Love. Got a man. It's Tonyan. Touchdown. Robert Tonyan. His second touchdown of the night.
And the Packers get a bit closer.
Well, look, this is a team, Charles. They faced adversity all year long. They had to fight and claw to win that division, but they're putting it all together here in the wild card game.
Feels like a statement, doesn't it? An absolute statement game, a message to the top seeds. Overlook us at your own peril. We're pretty darn good.
Love throwing for it.
Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. So unable to throw it in for 2 from the 2. Let me ask you, as a former DB, what changes there around the goal line on a 2-point conversion as far as how you're defending?
You just make sure you never back up and you never retreat. You establish yourself really on the line of scrimmage, put your heels on the goal line at worst. And if they're going to throw the ball, make them throw it over your head because they're going to run out of space because of the back of the end zone. Never let a guy catch one in front of you.
They'll run on first down. It's Chandler.
201 yards on the ground for him now as he has gotten better, really, as the night's gone on.
I know that every now and then we get in those meetings with coaches, and you almost want to roll your eyes when they talk about staying on schedule when they're moving the football. But would you say a 7-yard run is ahead of schedule?
Fourth quarter with the lead, you love that, don't you?
No doubt about it, because staying on schedule is trying to get 4 downs on first down. They did that, plus 3.
They said beginning of the season they wanted to get past the wild card round. Well, they just got past the wild card round.
How about that, being able to put the big check marks up in the locker room, right? Get to the wild card game, check, got that done. Win a wild card game, big check. Now you got to go ahead and set your sights higher. There is a bigger prize out there, and they still have an opportunity.